Okay, so I wanted to make a reasonably quick video about the YouTube Partner Program changes. I speak about this from a little bit of a unique perspective. I have been in the Partner Program twice on two channels, this channel and my other channel, what I now call my main channel, even though it is a smaller channel. I have been monetized throughout the years, like jumped into it, jumped out of it. And also the more unique area is I'm a product designer. So Rene Ritchie, the gentleman on your left, is speaking to Amjad Hanif, who is the VP of product over at YouTube, and he specifically focuses on creator and the creator platform. So anything that touches that is to do with this guy. And I've seen a lot of people, a lot of the comments, and I'm going to scroll down in a second and go through them. Not all of them, but just to get a vague idea of the catalyst for this video, which is people really feel like this is an attack on smaller creators, and I disagree, and I also entirely agree with the changes. If you want to dislike the video, leave a nasty comment and leave right now, feel free to do so. Couldn't care less. I want to explore it and explain it from my perspective, again, as a creator, as a small creator, and as someone that works in a product background. So the big focal point is, as I sort of alluded to, is this 8,000 qualified watch hours. It's changing from 4,000 to 8,000. And if we scroll down, we're going to see some of the sentiments immediately, some of the most upvoted things. 8,000 hour requirements honestly make me want to give up on YouTube. I'm so in a way grateful that this is the most, not the most upvoted one. There's actually some others here, but this is the most engaged one or whatever. That's why it's first. This is like, if I could just have a picturesque quote that would help as a catalyst for this video and why I have some of the sentiments that I do, it would be this comment. As they say, the rich get richer feels like less of an update and more of a punishment to smaller creators. We're making sure very few get monetized again. I don't believe this is an actual quote from Hanif, but it is like this person illustrating like a sentiment of theirs. 8,000 hours is insane. 4,000 was already daunting. This is also another thing. All replies were pure nonsense, and he managed to reply to all the questions without giving any answers. I definitely disagree with this. If you come at this from a product mindset and genuinely understand what they're trying to do instead of feeling hurt, it makes a ton of sense, and I actually really like his answers to a lot of it. Again, a lot of people basically saying the same thing, like this feels insane. This is not a pro creator stance. This is not a thing you should be doing. So I'm going to flip on over to Figma, which is what I use on a day-to-day basis to actually do UI UX design work, which is part of product design work. So on the left, you've got the problem. So any product, it doesn't matter what it is, be it Discord, YouTube, Netflix, Spotify, Apple, like it can be physical products, right? It can be software, it can be anything. They're all viewed as products, and you inherently come at certain things with a problem, and you don't necessarily jump out with a solution. You hypothesize, you figure out what is actually going on and why that problem is bubbling to the surface. And what I wrote here is the problem that Hanif and his team are trying to solve is low quality content flooding the platform. I give a couple of examples here: compilation videos, click farms, AI slop, AI anything, 200 billion shorts watched per day. And the shorts element is really interesting in this, along with AI, along with a barrier of entry. So for creators, like the fact that you have creators on TikTok and Instagram and wherever else that are just using their phone, they'll use CapCut, they'll use the camera, they'll use like a cheap mic that is just plug in and play and you're good to go, and they're creating phenomenal content. All of this huge change has happened in a time period where YouTube has basically never changed the creator partner program, like this tier of it. It's almost always been 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So it was due a change, and I think people have known about this change for a while. It was just when, not if. So the problem, if you keep this in mind, whatever Hanif says, always have it in the back of your mind. Low quality content is flooding the platform. How do we resolve that? And the solution I believe they've arrived at, which is kind of what they're talking about, is they want to create a higher barrier for entry to disincentivize low effort creators. And I've put here, a majority of the complaints come from, and I'm going to go through them in a second. A majority of the complaints come from what I deem as low effort creators. They want to get to money as quick as possible. That's it. That's all they care about. This is shorts only creators, AI creators, editors, not editors as in video editors, but people that just like grab a bunch of clips, throw some copyrighted music over the top, throw it up on shorts, get 34 views, and they're like, whoa, why am I not a creator? What's going on? Compilation videos, things like this. You'll see that these two different lists overlap quite heavily. It's because they're trying to attack those very specific things. And I think this is one of the best ways to do it. I'm going to flip back over. I'm going to have a little look-see. I'm not going to look at anyone's channel in particular. I did go through them a little bit, but I don't want to call out anyone in particular. But generally, if you go to this video and you go down these channels, a lot of the people that are complaining either have less than like 200 subscribers, or they have a lot of subscribers and they are shorts creators. Now, is there anything inherently wrong with being a shorts creator? No, of course not. There is tons of great short content out there. TikTok took over the world because it was so good at, one, its algorithm was phenomenal at finding content that you didn't even know you loved. And there is genuinely, legitimately good content on there. YouTube's problem is they are being absolutely inundated and flooded with crap content. And that barrier to entry to then get monetized is so low and easy to do that you just, I think I wrote a note somewhere. I genuinely wrote it down. Here it is. So all of these people that are saying 4,000 hours is daunting. I did the math to it, and I'm going to go over to another slide in a second. But I wrote on a post-it note right here, a 10-minute video with a 30% AVD, so average view duration. That means you only watch 30% of the video. If that video gets 80,000 views, that's your 4K watch time done. You're done in one video. And over the years, YouTube has gotten so good at pushing out your content to the required spaces and finding the viewers for it. There is only really one person to blame, and I am also at fault of this. If a video doesn't do well, I don't blame anyone but myself, because YouTube is excellent at pushing a video where it needs to go. You will often see people cope. They will say, oh, I'm shadow banned. Oh, the algorithm's changed. I'm being treated unfairly. Oh, YouTube did this, YouTube did that. I will say this, I've always used this as an example, and you'll see why it's an old example with the creator I use, Casey Neistat. When Casey Neistat was in 2015, 2016, he started doing his daily vlogs. There was, if you imagine that level of creator, that level of like even innovation at the time, there isn't someone like that on the platform right now that's getting 100 views a video. They're just not. So if you're not getting a certain number of views, the only person to blame is yourself. And oftentimes what you see with comments, and again, I will flip back to them, when people say stuff like this, it makes them want to give up. It really, really loudly shouts that I am only doing this for money. And I think that's an inherent problem. I think that is an inherent problem with YouTube, and I'm going to flip on over to the next slide right now to show, I say flip over, I'm actually just going to scroll down, aren't I? So hopefully you can see everything. Yeah, everything's framed up reasonably nicely. So this is a really cool part of it. Monetization is part of the journey, not the goal. And so many times what you'll see with these comments is people say, oh, I'm just going to give up. Like, I don't, the barrier to entry has changed. I don't want to do YouTube anymore. And it's like, people were doing YouTube for years before there was an ability to make money. People like myself and friends of mine still do content creation despite not making a penny from it. In fact, I'm at a net loss. The microphone, the webcam, the everything else, right? You're at a net loss fundamentally. And I think it's really telling that a lot of the people that are concerned by this change are themselves low effort creators. They are people that, and this isn't to say that there isn't some casualties caught in the crossfire. I definitely think there's some niches that suffer from this, going from 4,000 to 8,000 watch hours. But that said, there's still little elements off to the side that help with that. So getting super chats, memberships, shopping, like these other elements of monetization that people ignore. People talk about and imagine, and you can tell, like I've been monetized on 2 or 3 different channels, and I always stress to people, like, it's not the all and be all. This right now in the background, which I will talk about, is kind of proof of that. So imagine on the left-hand side over here, you've got like what you do in that year. So your videos on average 30% view duration, right? You could be doing 8-minute video lengths and you do 52 videos. So one video every single week. And on average, those videos are going to get 2,000 views. This is like really, 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 really base requirement. Okay. If you're making good videos or you're making good clickable videos, so maybe the video's good, but your packaging is bad, so the title and thumbnail's not great, you know where you need to. YouTube gives you all the metrics to actually handle this. You don't need to dig any deeper. The metrics are literally just average view duration, a click-through rate. They're really the only ones you need to give a shit about. YouTube will work its magic if you make good videos. Again, there is not someone like a Casey Neistat or a Ryan Trahan or, even in the gamer space, like loads of different people. There aren't these like otherworldly creators that are just getting like 20 views a video, 2 views a video. So it's always entirely on you. So if you're doing this and you, after 1 year, and you get the average RPM, which is revenue per milli, so this is what your videos you'll get when you're monetized, it tells you on the video itself. This is the average. $3 is the average. Revenue per milli is a little, I've put here in brackets, it's Latin. Milli is Latin for 1,000. It doesn't mean revenue per million. So every 1,000 views, you get $3 on average. This changes depending, and you'll know this already, it changes what space you're in. This can go as low as 50 cents. This can go as high as like $10. So if you're in the finance or tech space, you can do a couple of thousand views and make way more money than you would do if you were making a Roblox clip farm channel, getting millions of views, rightfully so. So in that year, if you are monetized and you get 104,000 views, that is your 4,000 watch hours right there. And what you make from that is $312 in 1 year. The problem here, and I said I would get to this at the end, I believe, is Amjad Hanif, the VP of product, creator product, is saying that this is irrelevant, this $312. I understand where it's coming from, and in part I do agree. If it's such a low amount of money, you really shouldn't be prioritizing YouTube in this way. You should be prioritizing the quality of your content. But I am very open to the argument and very understanding that $312 it's not going to like pay your rent. It's not going to like pay utility bills. It's not going to necessarily pay for shopping, not these days. But it might buy you a new microphone. It might buy you a capture card. It might buy you DLC to a game, right? Or portions of a game that you focus on entirely. And then that way you get to reinvest in your channel. That's how I treat certain portions of my life, as ways to invest in my content. I do it for the fun of it. I've said, I don't think I've said it on this channel, but I've said it on my other channel that like, even when I can get monetized, I abuse the ability of monetization and the partner program to turn off ads, because YouTube, when you're not monetized, right, in the partner program, they will serve ads on all of your content. When you get monetized, you get so little, as it shows that, so little money, that there's a trade-off of user experience where you may as well turn it off and give the viewers a ad-free experience, as opposed to keeping it on and the ads are going crazy and you make, $40 or something. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So I will go back to this little portion here. This is what YouTube is attacking. YouTube is attacking and trying to get rid of low effort creators. These are the people we should really blame. The people that are shitting out, fucking hundreds of shorts and they're spamming out AI slop and they think they're like real creators. And when I say that, bring up the big camera for a second. When I say like real creators, that isn't to say like I'm some like holier than thou better creator than everyone. I'm really not. Like I've done this on and off for like half my life nearly. My hat is like really fucked up. You only ever notice it when you're in like camera. It's very strange. I'm not some like otherworldly creator. I like messing around in DaVinci. I like learning new skills. I like learning stuff. But a lot of these people, like I don't focus on the monetization. I never look at the fuck. I don't even know what it's called. I will look. What's it actually called? I have 4% battery. What is it actually called? Earn. Okay, it's called the Earn tab. I don't look at that tab. I don't care about it because I have a job for money. Okay. If you are doing this just for money, you are applying undue stress to yourself. It's just unnecessary. Just get better at making stuff. It's part of the journey. The money will come. You really shouldn't be focusing on monetization if you've got like 10 subscribers or even a few thousand subscribers. You really shouldn't be focusing on it. It should not be a part of your day-to-day thinking when it comes to making videos. You should be thinking about how to make better videos, not how do I get monetized. And I will end on this. The people in those comment sections and various videos that emphasize, oh, I don't want to do YouTube anymore, then don't do it. That if you give up that easily, or the only reason you were doing it was to make $50 a year, you were doing it for the wrong reason. And I will say, if hitting in a year, hitting 8,000 watch hours, if you can hit 4,000, you can hit 8,000. I will say that much. It doesn't matter what niche you're in. It doesn't matter what communities you have. It doesn't matter. Like, you can hit those numbers. The downside of content style, I think we'll see a change in pacing, back to like retention editing, things like this. But there is a cultural change wrestling with that, where people want slower videos, and they don't want quick cuts and things like that. That's why this will be like broadly like unedited, right? Because there are people out there that just, they want something on in the background. They want to chill. They want to just like have lunch while watching something. They don't want to jump between a million things. So it'll be interesting to see how content itself changes. But overall, I like the change. The people complaining are broadly low effort creators. They're just doing it for the money. And now they're just annoyed that they have to do more low effort stuff to get a little bit of money because they don't enjoy the process at all. They never did. Just like AI bros. I'll give you $100 right now if you can find someone that authentically cares about the process while also standing for AI shit. These people don't exist. All they see is a shortcut to an outcome, and that outcome is almost always money. They don't care about the individual art. They don't care about the individual thing. They just want to speed run to money. And in today's climate and economy, I can understand that. But do that with a different career and do YouTube on the side, because this stuff has always been unsteady and unknown, and it can change on a whim. Diversify yourself. Don't just focus on YouTube.